A second edition of Clanfidential. Aaron Murphy alongside Cody Sol. And basically, Alex Roach made sure that you would be the next guest on Clanfidential because he had such kind words for you last week as being great with the music in the dressing room, having that big personality to welcome to the team. Of course, you knew him from a previous stint in pro hockey, but welcome to Clanfidential, Cody Sol.
Thanks. Happy to be here. So lots of good things. So I hope I have some good things to say about other guys too.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I mean, you look at it, and we talked to Roach a little bit about like growing up. This is a time of year that's about kids, right? Christmas is about kids. So let's talk about when you were 5'8" and not 6'8". You were probably 5'8" when you were 9. But what was your favorite hockey team when you were a young fella?
Growing up, it was Montreal Canadiens. That was the team that my dad cheered for. Obviously, being from the Toronto area, everyone would think to be a Leafs fan, but I grew up as a Montreal Canadiens fan. My brother actually grew up as a Boston Bruins fan because my uncle was a Boston Bruins fan. So there's a bit of a rivalry there. But yeah, none of us were Leafs fans. And then it was just in the side note, the NHL draft my year was in Montreal, and went out there with my family, and we ended up getting drafted in Montreal. So that was a pretty cool moment for me and my family.
Yeah, absolutely. Atlanta. And did you follow Atlanta a little bit after that and kind of see how they were doing? Obviously, they're long gone, but it must have been a special moment.
Yeah, it was cool. I still have that baby blue jersey hanging down my parents' basement. I was with the organization until they switched to Winnipeg, and I was with Winnipeg for a couple of years. So it's still a piece of history that was being drafted by them, but also in the Winnipeg Jets organization, there's also another good organization. But that's hockey, and things happen the way it do. And I've had a long career since then, and I've enjoyed my ride since then.
So a Montreal fan, it sounds like I'd probably get along better with your brother and your uncle because I grew up a Bruins fan in Newfoundland. There were a lot of Bruins fans kind of being sort of north of Boston. Who was your favorite player then? Was he a Montreal Canadian as well?
I grew up. My favorite D-man growing up was Chris Pronger. Just the style he played. He was a good player, and he plays a little edge. And that was later on in my minor hockey career, I started to do that a bit more. The size came with the territory, and then when I started playing junior, it was more I had to play with a little more grit in my game, and that's kind of the player I was molded into. But my favorite player growing up was Sacco Koivu, the captain of Montreal Canadiens. He was just one of those guys. He obviously was good for the team. He put up some numbers, but you just tell by the kind of person he was and everything he went through. It was just cool to see him come back after cancer. It was just one of those humbling guys you can really follow and be proud of, to be a fan of.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch as well. Super skilled from that Finnish sort of national team to the NHL. Who's the biggest influence on your career? Was it a coach? Was it your dad? Was it your brother?
I would say probably my dad was probably one of the biggest influences. They pushed me, but they didn't really push me to things I didn't want to do. They knew that I had the love for the game, which wasn't really, I was never pushed to do anything I didn't want to. And then there was actually my first agent, Scott Russell. I grew up in a small town, and there's a junior C team there, and I thinking that was a team I wanted to play for. And I was a good player. My dad always knew I was a better player than what I thought I was. And then I went to a couple of OHL games and in grade school and started high school, and thinking that was cool to watch it, but didn't ever think I could play in that league. And then my minor Bantam year, Scott Russell, he was just a small agent, didn't have a ton of guys. He approached us, and he was my first agent, and he was my agent all the way through my pro career until he stepped down because he said it was tough because all the big dogs would take players into big agencies. So, but he was small. He was from a small town. He brought us out to his boat and stuff, and he was always good to us. He was part of the family for a long time. So he was probably the biggest reason I was able to get to where I was, because he was an agent that really cared for us.
I had the pleasure of meeting your mom and dad, your uncle and aunt. You had some family over. How important is it? Because I feel at this time of year as well, as a Canadian living in Ireland, it's really nice to see family this time of year. So talk about a little bit about family being over and watching you play at Braehead Arena.
Yeah, I was excited. It's been a few years since my uncle and aunt have been able to watch me play. They haven't seen me play since Fort Wayne, and obviously being overseas makes it a lot tougher for people to come see me play. My parents saw me last year in Italy, which was a lot of fun. And it's just cool to see my parents. Yeah, they had kids and they were young, so they're still young and able. And them being able to come over here and do the things we do, go on hikes and just walk around and doing things out in Scotland. It's a beautiful place to visit, and it's cool to be able to do those things with them. They're still able to do those things with us. So, and I have to say, it's tough this time of year, right? but maybe in my 12th year pro, you get used to it. You're used to being away for the holidays, and that's why they say when you retire, the hardest thing is the locker room to give up, because we all become family, right? We are each other's family while we're here. We spend every day with each other. We on the same schedule, do the same things, and the holidays we spend together too, right? So the teammates become your family, but yeah, having family visit during this time of year, I think a lot of guys have family coming around this time of year too, which is it's a little extra special, right? So.
Well, it was lovely to meet some of your family and have a chat with them. Your dad was really proud of the way that you were kind of taking Reese Kelly under the wing there, and he talked about like you working with a young guy like that and kind of young big defenseman. Talk a little bit about that relationship with Reese Kelly.
It's a lot of fun. You know, he's got a good skill set. He's a confident player, and for me to be able to play with a young guy like that, especially being a Brit, and I think I tell him lots of times he's going to be a good player for the British national team one day. He has that ability. He has a good head on those shoulders, and he's at first he maybe didn't lack confidence, but there's things where you could see that he had it in him, and then just kind of knowing them that I'm out there with them, and you can go do some extra things and see where it takes you, right? A confident player is better than a player with a skill set and no confidence right now, right? So, which it's been fun. He's got a good head and shoulders. He listens. He's always asking questions, but the same thing for me too. I can learn things from him too. And on the ice, it's just back and forth with each other, saying every shift we're talking about something we can do better or something that was a good shift. So, but he's always listening, which is great for a young player.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch. You guys have been hard to play against. Two guys that move well, and obviously you've got that good relationship. So it's lovely to see. We know you're a leader. And one of the things Alex Roach said on the first edition of Clanfidential is that you had a real good taste in music, and you had the music pumping in the dressing room. So what's on your playlist right now, Solzy?
It depends, because we have not every Brit likes to listen to country music, but so you got to mix it up every now and then. So country music's probably takes the headway in the mornings, but we like to mix it up with a little old school. We had some 70s rock in there. Sometimes we like to play out. Usually there's some James Blunt and some Jerry Cinnamon playing after practice. Depends what kind of mood we're in. So there's some soft music being played in there too, but usually before practice it's mostly country, and then usually you can tell by the vibes in the room. Maybe a half hour before we go on the ice, I kind of spice up a little more upbeat stuff to kind of get the boys in the mood for practice. You know, it's tough being a DJ sometimes when you have 20 guys to try and keep happy, right? But I do morning stuff. I don't do the game day stuff. Usually Lacko or Counts or someone will take over for the game day stuff. But I like to do the mornings. I'm there early enough to connect to the speaker, so. It's not the worst job in the world, but it's nice to have a little bit of control over the radio too. You listen to what you want to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. You and I talked about the Zach Brown band recently, and I think when I called you this summer about coming back to Glasgow, you were on your way to a Mumford & Sons concert, so we have a very similar taste in music. They're interesting that Lacko and Counts take over on game day. What's their favorite on the game day?
It's just like a lot of remixes. They play stuff out of. Honestly, it's just a lot. There's some rap going on in there. It's just a little mosh pit, everything, right? You're just trying to keep the beats and the heart rate, not heart rate higher, but just to keep the energy up and just kind of keep the boys focused on the task ahead. But a lot of times, sometimes some guys still listen to their headphones in the locker room. Sometimes for people, it's just noise. I really enjoy music. I went to the Greta Van Fleet concert here at the Hydro Center. It was good music, yeah. And then Mumford & Sons and Vance Joy. This summer, so I like all genres. I like if it's good music, especially live music. It's so much better. That's why Glasgow's so much fun to be here. We go to the pubs, and every pub we go to has live music, and that's a great thing for us to do.
Talk about it a little bit. I mean, you had a stint a few years ago. Like you said, you were off in Italy last year, had a great season. What's a couple of the differences from your first go around to this current edition of the Clan?
I find there's more professionalism here now. You get treated better as a player. Just all the stuff off ice that they've done for us has been a real treat to be part of. The fan base here has always been great for us. They always show up in numbers. But yeah, it's just you get treated well here. You know, that's 2 years ago, and it was just there was a lot of stuff going on. Even last year, there was a lot of shenanigans that was just Yeah, as many as you want to have good people part of the organization, right? And I feel like there's a lot of good people they brought in. Morgie and Bats are great coaches. They interact with us. They ask how we're doing, what kind of things we need to change. So it's not a they're up here, we're down here kind of thing. It's more of a all pull on the same rope, and that's kind of the mentality we've had on the ice the last few weeks during the games we've been playing. Is guys are going down, guys are playing different position, Forbes are coming back on D. Guys are playing more minutes than normal, and just next man up, everyone pulling the same rope mentality. So I think when off the ice you start with having good people and people that care about it, then on the ice you guys care about the organization and logo on their chest.
You talk about that, and sort of that adversity brings people together. And Alex Roach said that you're one of the funniest guys in the room. So you can't really say yourself, or I guess you could, but who's someone that entertains you in the room, whether it's on a game day or a practice day?
Lyncher and Combsy, they entertain me because they're just two little. Lyncher's not a rug rat, but these two little guys just always going at it with each other. There's a lot of good banter in the room. Forbesy likes to chime in. He's a bit of a pod stir. Pelly likes to stir the pot. Dyson and Harry have their little banter going on. Reggie is also in the mix. It's a lot of guys. And I feel like we have a lot of pot stirs on this team. Obviously, big personality. I like to be in the front of it all, but yeah, it's just a lot of guys like to joke around in the locker room. So it's been good, and that's not the only reason we play, but the main reason playing is to have a good locker room. It makes it a lot of fun going to the rink every day.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of characters, and when you look at it, we've played really well in the cup. But it's a massive achievement to get into the semifinals. We're fourth in the league right now, so things are going the right way. What's kind of your routine right now? What's the pregame meal, and what's a game day look like to Cody Sol?
Game days usually wake up like an hour before, supposed to leave for the rink, have a good breakfast. Me and Reggie like to watch YouTube in the morning, some other hockey highlights or music videos. Go to the rink, get in a hot tub, a little stretch, and then go on the ice. And then usually afterwards do a little maintenance on the body. Either myself or Kirsty, she's a therapist and she's good at what she does. Come home, have a little snack or lunch. Pre-game meal is usually chicken and pasta. And then I take an early nap and then wake up an hour before usually for the rink, and then a little coffee and a bagel, and then back to the rink for another routine. I like to go early. There's a few of us like to go early, like 3 hours before the game. Another hot tub, and then play some soccer or sewer ball before we go on. Then the game time.
Yeah, the hot and cold tubs have certainly been popular, haven't they? And they're a brand new addition to that dressing room, and the dressing room looks really good. It's comfortable in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been nice. The hot tubs and cold tubs have been a hot topic for us, and maybe a cold topic because we've had a few floods in there so far, but it's been a lot of fun having those there just because of the banter it's created. But yeah, it's great for the body. 2 years we didn't have that. So hot tub, especially as an older player, just a little warm bath in the morning, just get the muscles moving, and then a cold tub after practice and after games is huge for recovery, especially with the schedule in this league. It's not great, but it is what it is. We understand that every team would like to have a home game every weekend just to keep the fans happy with them not have to travel all the time. So, but it's been good for us to recover with those cold tubs.
It's a Christmas edition of Clanfidential, if you will. I mean, your Christmas sweater is a bit dirty after the Clan Secret Santa. The other night, I've got my Kraken Christmas shirt on. Talk about your favorite Christmas gift ever growing up. Was there something that really stuck out when you think back to childhood memories?
We got 1 year for Christmas. We got these little games, these little car games, and it was just a couple small things after a couple small things. And me and my brothers and sisters were kind of just curious what was going on. And then once we got the big present, it was a present to all of us go down to Disney as a family, drive down there. So with all the little gifts, with all these little games, we were playing on the way down there. So that was a cool gift for everyone to do that as a family. And then 1 year I got a GT snow racer with me and my brother. So that was pretty cool. Those are the gifts I remember most growing up.
Well, it's always nice to have one of those moments. I mean, I think Rochi said his was an Easton Synergy, the silver, the original Easton Synergy. So everyone has that moment, a childhood, whether it's a trip or time with family. And I guess you mentioned it there a little while ago. It's a tough time of year because you're not with your family, but your teammates become your family. And you guys had a pretty good gathering the other night. Don't give away too much, but it's always nice when you get together for that Secret Santa and the guys come together off the ice.
Yeah, it was good. Sometimes the gifts can be real or a gag or it's all in good fun. And we had everyone showed up. We had a good meal with it, a couple beers, and it was fun to have everyone together. and a lot of laughs, a lot of jokes, which was all about, right? It's all in good fun, and then yeah, it turned out to be a really good night. We all enjoyed ourselves.
What's the wish list this year? Is it 2 points, 4 points, or is it just to enjoy your hockey? I mean, we've got a big second half coming up to the season as well.
Yeah, we talked about this morning. Obviously where we are, we could be a little higher in the standings if a few of those overtime games went different ways. But that's definitely a topic for us to get better at. But I think after the last few years, as this organization has come along, I think to be where we are this season at this point, going into the semifinals of Challenge Cup, being tied for third in the league, it's a good achievement for us. Obviously, everyone wants to achieve higher and higher, and that's the goal for this team, is to keep grinding and keep climbing up those standings. And especially this weekend against Cardiff, they're ahead of us, and then with Dundee, I think hopefully 4 points is what we want this weekend.
Well, happy Christmas to you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I think I'm eating into your nap time right now, Solzy. So thanks for joining us on Clanfidential. Look, you need to get yourself a pair of Grinch slippers, right? You and Redsy there.
I don't think
pair of Grinch slippers for nap time. Yeah, no, they won't fit you.
I need 2 pairs and sew them together to fit me. So
thanks for taking the time. Happy Christmas to you, and we'll see you soon, bud.
Merry Christmas to you too. See ya. Thanks.